Mauricio has a hit tonight in his last at bat. That kept a hitting streak alive. This ball into left center. Isaac Collins makes the call on the catch, and the Brewers are victorious tonight 5-1. Taking the first game of this 3-game series. The Astros now 1-3 on the road trip. Limited to just 1 run in their last 3 tries here in Milwaukee, going back to 2023.
So we're back to baseball. And I guess after focusing for much of the last couple of days on the Houston Rockets and their Western Conference playoff series against the Golden State Warriors, we are returning to a 500 baseball team that can't beat teams on the road. Interesting. You know, we ask this question every single day of the year about our 2025 Houston Astros. The question that we consistently ask is, are the Houston Astros what?
We are built for this.
Not last night. What they are built for of late is a lot of singles, not a lot of extra base hits, and absolutely diddly poo in situations where they could potentially score runs. 3 runs or fewer in 20 of their last 34 games. Per Fangraphs, while they are doing all right in terms of hitting with runners in scoring position, 251 average, which is 15th, a 711 OPS, which is 16th. Fangraphs says that despite having the 7th most plate appearances this year with the bases loaded, 39, they are hitting 114 dead last with an OPS of 357. 29th. That ain't built for it. Making matters worse, one of the guys who has really been struggling in those spots, the birthday man himself, Jose Altuve. Altuve's been struggling. We're not talking about that. We're focusing on Christian Walker. But Altuve has not been looking so good the last couple of games. And look, he's one of those guys who, you know, should eventually bust out of this slump. But the 35-year-old, as of today, you take a look over the last couple of games, it has not been going so hot. To be specific, when it comes to Jose Altuve, over the past week, we're talking about a guy. Why is this pop-up getting in the way? We're talking his last 21. Sure, there's been a couple of doubles, but he's not doing so much. So a chipper voice of optimism and reason in the Astros clubhouse. Here he was after last night's 3-1 loss to the Milwaukee Brewers.
We're never going to score. We're never going to score. We're never going to score. That's it, nuts.
Oh, wow. Honestly, things have changed a little bit for Joe Espada from a voice perspective. We're never going to score. That's how I feel right now. That's how I feel. And making matters worse, you're crap. I get it here. Blah, 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 blah. But I don't know. I'm feeling a little bit like Beavis and or Butthead. I'm not to me. Now that Yordan, who was scratched from the lineup over the weekend, is dealing with inflammation in his right hand that has him moved to the 15-day IL. What does that mean with the Astros and their training staff? You never know. But as astutely pointed out by Jeremy Branham, Yordan Alvarez has quite the track record when it comes to rando injuries. An IL stint for an inflamed hand. That was when Dusty Baker did not know which hand. He left Tampa because of a bad pillow. And this inflamed hand doesn't require a stint. How does that work? I mean, it is the Astros training staff, Sean Mapes, behind the glass. It is their medical staff. It's always a roller coaster with those guys, much like it is with Yordan's health.
Can I just say, like, can we put some imaging on him just in case?
Right. Why not?
Like, why are we so close? I mean,
Does it cost money?
it probably costs some amount of money.
But does it put them over the luxury tax threshold or
No.
something? Like, what are we penny pitching for? It's Yordan Alvarez. What are we doing?
No, and it's not like they had a notable position player, one of the most important bats of their lineup last year that was, I won't say misdiagnosed, but was perhaps misdiagnosed.
Let's just
with
call
the
it what
bone
it
bruise.
is. We are not doctors, you know?
No.
To quote Jen Psaki talking about how she did not know that Joe Biden was all of a sudden a little loosey-goosey just the other day. We are not doctors. However, we do think that
where a guy had a bone bruise, was on the 10-day DL, and was out for 3 months.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe just be a little bit more careful.
Because obviously Kyle Tucker, who Sean was just talking about right there, his bone bruise was a fracture, which thing is a bone bruise. I learned this because my sister is a doctor. Do the Astros have doctors? Or is it Beavis and Butthead who are operating? Inflamed hand. Wonder where they got that from. I mean, Alvarez was hurt at the end of last year, and now this could be a total offseason botch job by the Astros medical staff. Again, I mean, would we be surprised by that? So, look, they're 17-17. They're not hitting, and they've ruined Jose Altuve's birthday because Yordan is hurt, and Altuve is not getting things done. If I know, but here is actually Joe Espada talking about their struggles to score.
We got people on base. We got 9 hits. We got the sixth inning. We had an opportunity there to capitalize, and we just gotta relax and let the game come to us. I think sometimes we tried hard, trying to get a big hit, trying to come through for our team. So this offense is going to explode here pretty soon. We just gotta stay positive.
Stay positive. I don't like. Maybe we're not. This is classic sports talk radio host syndrome. I have to zag, but do not tell me to be positive, Joe. Okay? You could be positive, but you don't say that you're going to be positive. I don't want to hear it. La 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 la. I don't want to hear it because it just makes me feel like we're never going to score. Damn it, we're never going to score. Try to score. Here's more Joe Espada talking about how things are going to get better. He was talking about the bases loaded numbers that the Astros have, which are, as I laid out a little bit before, the worst in baseball.
It becomes an emotional at bat, the magnitude of how big the spot is. And I've seen our guys go through moments where we try to do much, but I also seen our guys when they relax and they could put really good at bats in moments like those. So we just got to be patient and the big hit is going to fall in there. We just got to continue to at least keep loading the bases, keep putting traffic out there.
Are they too emotional at the plate? Do they all need to go the Cam Smith route? We talked about this leading up to the year. Cam Smith listens to Bob Marley. I know there's an implication attached to listening to Bob Marley. We're not making that, but perhaps if the Astros are a little less emotional at the plate, I don't know, they wouldn't be the worst team in baseball with the bases loaded. They are. 7th most opportunities. It's been a pretty big sample size. They are dead last in average. They are 29th in slugging. It is bad. Joe Espada is staying positive. Here's more Joe Espada saying, trust me, I'm not a doctor, but I am positive.
As long as the quality is there, I'm fine because I know that we're going to get some big hits. Our offense has not gotten hot yet, and we playing 500 baseball. Our pitching is doing a really good job. Our bullpen is doing a really phenomenal job keeping us in game. We just got to be patient and continue to move forward and continue to fight because this will turn around. We'll get hot here soon.
Feeling hot, hot, hot. We're not there.